Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And in this video we are going to be talking about the top 5 things I would like to see in the next Spider-Man game. So if you like this video and would like to see more content surrounding comics, movies, toy photography, games and more, don't forget to like, subscribe and have that bell icon clicked to stay up to date with all my new videos. Quick disclaimer, these ideas are my opinion on what should happen in the game. If you disagree, good for you. Without further ado, let's get into it. Spider-Man has a wide variety of different characters throughout his years of comics. We all know this, and I, for one, found it really interesting when they added in the game multiple different characters that weren't so well known. Characters like Martin Lee. Personally, I didn't know too much about Martin Lee. I thought his character was done well, but I didn't know any background information about him. But Martin Lee, Tombstone, and Screwball, just to name a few. I thought that was really interesting to have characters that people didn't know in mainstream media in a big AAA game like this. And that was a really good idea on Insomniac's part. But I'd like to see more obscure characters in the sequels. Characters like Tombstone and other characters like Martin Lee and stuff. And I'd like to see that, but I didn't like how they executed Screwball's character, so I wouldn't want to see that in another game. I found her annoying and not interesting enough to want to read up about her and see what she's about. But a character like Tombstone, I didn't know a lot about him before the game, but after playing the game, I actually wanted to research about him, and that's what I think these types of side quests should make you want to do. And that's what I would like to see in future games. See obscure characters like that done well and make you want to go research about them. So, yeah. Now, I am planning on making a separate video on other suits I'd like to see in the next game, so do look out for that. But I thought this suit, I wanted to include this little segment into this video. And the suit I'm talking about is, of course, the Spectacular Spider-Man suit. And it would be so cool if we got the Spectacular Spider-Man suit, and then we got the matching cartoon style they did it. Like not like make the model of the suit, like, you know, with Miles Morales when he did the when they had the Into the Spider-Verse suit, and it was like a suit mod for Vibe the Verse. It'd be cool to get that animation style, because it was definitely different from the animation style we have now in video games and cartoons and CGI and whatever. And it would be cool to see this animation style on the suits, or maybe like a suit mod. That would be so cool to see Peter swinging through the city with the Spectacular suit. Speaking of suit mods, it would be cool either to see that animation style for this suit, or we could see like maybe some web gloves, because there is a part in the series where he wraps his hands in webs. I forgot what episode it is, but there's a time where he does it, and that would be really cool. Or maybe just, you know, web gloves for a suit gadget or something, like a web cartridge gadget. That would be really cool. But that's a side note. But yeah, my point is, I would really love to see the Spectacular suit in the next game. That would be really cool. Alright, so I actually got this idea from another YouTuber named News to Astonish, so please go check him out. He has some really good content. But what I mean by other enemy types is just a different variety of enemies. Whether it's like giving the enemies different powers and different move lists, because obviously they're going to be giving Spider-Man different moves to pull off in the next game to make it new and fresh. But it'd be cool to see the enemies have that as well. Because you could see them, you know, fight in different ways, maybe even use environmental moves with throwing chairs and stuff at you. That'd be really cool to see. And yeah, just with different powers. They kind of did that with with Miles Morales when they did the underground stuff. With those thugs, they had different powers, but you know, you got to a part in the story where they introduced a new thug, and then that was kind of it for the rest of the story. And that's what they've kind of done with the 2 games that we've gotten. I'd like them to they can do that, but if they did environmental moves, that would make it new and different, and you wouldn't see anything coming. Well, you would, because you have spider sense, but you guys know what I mean. Also, maybe just changing the models a little bit, because I know, well, obviously they gave Peter a new head. We've seen that already, and yeah, but it would be cool if they could change the models a little bit, because I know in both games, there's only a certain amount of models, and you just get clones of people from time to time. It'd be cool, obviously with the power of the PS5 now, you could have a bunch of different people running around, and you could have many different models, and it would be so cool to see, like, in photo mode, you're smashing someone into the ground, and you see their face, and it's a completely different guy, each and every time. That would be really cool to see. Alright, so this might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but from what we've seen, well, what I think is it might release next year, maybe late next year, but also there's a big arrow pointing to it's going to release maybe 2023, 2024, which I'm okay with. But my thing is cross-gen play. Now that doesn't mean multiplayer, we'll get into that a little bit later, but what I mean is if the game is probably going to release end of next year, or midway through next year, if it's midway through next year, this would make more sense, for Sony to put this game on PS4 and PS5. For the sole reason of there isn't a lot of PS5 units sold because of scalpers buying them quickly. I mean, I was lucky to get one, but there's not a lot of them out there, and a lot of people haven't switched to next gen just yet. And I think it would be a wise decision so that they can sell a lot of copies of the game and get a good review from different people. But what I think they would do if they did that, you would have the PS5 copy, which I think would have the best graphics. It would give you all the options Miles Morales does, the remaster does, all those graphical options. It would also give you the stuff in the controller, the vibration, those types of things in the controller that you would get from next gen. But then PS4 would just be your base. It would have no graphics like altering, you can't alter the graphics, and no controller thing, because obviously the controller, it's older and it doesn't have the new technology yet. Well, not yet. It doesn't have the new technology at all. So you just have a base level for the PS4, which is okay for PS4 learners that just want to for PS4 people that just want to get the game to play it. And I think if the game releases closer to 2023 to 2024, it would be wise for them to just put it as an exclusive on the PS5, because as then they're hoping for more copies to be sold. And if that is the case, that means a lot of people will be on next gen, and that means the game will sell well on the PS5 because a lot of people are on next gen. But that's just my thoughts on that. Alright, so seeing as we have already seen Miles Morales in action, we've already played as Miles in his own game, I don't think it's going to be that hard for Insomniac to add Miles into this game. I personally, these are my 2 theories on how they could add Miles into the game. I personally, this is my big one. I think they're just going to add him as a single play character. You have to play as him for some side quests, and it's just Miles, not Peter. It's just like a side thing where you just, you play as Miles. That would be pretty cool. But the coolest thing would be if they allow you to play multiplayer with like a mate, playing side by side. One person is Miles, one person's Peter, and you're playing together, split screen on the PS5 or PS4 console. That would be really cool, and to see them fighting side by side, because as of right now the combat's so good, and it'd be cool to just see that. Like, could you imagine getting some of those photo mode pictures of like like Peter Parker hitting someone with an uppercut, and then Miles kicking them in the face underneath him? That would be really cool to see two Spider-Man fighting side by side. I don't know if they would let you do it with the main story, because the main story in the next game will focus on Peter because it's his game. I don't think you'll be able to play as Miles in those missions, but like crimes that happen along the city and just normal side quests, for sure. I think that would be really cool. But if you can play in main missions with Miles, or just certain main missions, that would be so cool to have like a friend over and just play certain main missions with them and try to complete the game. And it would be so cool if Miles was included in the final fight of the game, and you could play with a friend. Like, you have the option to do that. That would be really cool. Like, they do two different endings. It's the same ending, it's just you get to play as not both, but like one person gets to play as Miles, and that would be amazing to see. But yeah. Alright, well that was my top 5 things I want to see in the next Spider-Man game. So, if you guys want to start a conversation in the comments down below of some things you thought I missed, and some things you want in the next game, please go and comment down below. Also, while you're there, you may as well like, subscribe for more content surrounding games, trailers, comics, and movies. And I will see you in the next one, where we have more things planned. I think next video will be a behind the scenes of my toy photography. So definitely stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!